Hey, it's Don here. I did a pick the other morning and filled up my van just before the sun came up. I was already back. I took a very long drive to meet somebody from a call and did extremely well. As I said, it filled the van up. I've just got a few $100s into everything I bought. We'll show you some of what I got and kind of give you an idea on what I look for a little bit too. First off, I got a whole bunch of action figures. Now this is Green Lantern Corps or something along that line. Probably lights up. I'll have to check the batteries. You know, I don't have but $5 into a huge stack of figures here. Now there's a few. I don't know if that's damage or not, but I think this is Virtue or Warriors of the Virtue. I think something like that. There's a couple of these in there. Now this one looks like a Todd McFarlane maybe. Can't quite make it out, but either way, there's some vintage ones in here. Jurassic Park figures. I got, like, as I said, $5 in all the figures. And there's some decent Ninja Turtles in here, too. I'm not showing you them all. There's a bag right here I'll show you also. I mean, I got a whole bunch of them. I've got 3 bags of these full, so there's probably a couple hundred. Here's an earlier Dinobots, maybe. It's definitely a Transformer of some sort. There's some older Star Wars, Power Rangers. I'm not sure. This one looks like an 80s version. Yeah, it looks like 83 or something. Another Virtue Warriors. There's just a bunch of these in here. One of the bags had some vintage Star Wars. There's some starting lineup. There's some turtles in here, as I said. More turtles. There's some die-cast Marvels. That's Juggernaut, I do believe. More of the Ninja Turtles. There's some sci-fi, Star Wars. Oh, geez, just a whole bunch of stuff. Now, this one, I think's from one of the Nintendo games. Now, I purchased a whole bunch of Nintendo. I'm almost sure this is from a video game, he looks like. Somebody will probably shout that out. I'll probably figure it out the next day or so. I'm almost sure that's from a video game. There was a bunch of video game related stuff in here. More Jurassic Park. Now, you may not think much of it, but these type of figures I can get 10, 15, 20 bucks for easily. So, and then the Transformers, I've got a bunch of stuff in here. So that's just a few of the action figures. Again, I got a bunch of action figures. I just picked out a random assortment. This was pretty neat. It's like a roly-poly 1950s hard plastic Santa Claus. Nice example there for sure. And on the Santa Claus line too, I got a whole bunch of these. Now, some of them have the labels still there, made in Japan. These are Dankin, I think is what they're called. Let me see what the label said. It's probably not a good one. This is Herman Pecker and Company, Japan. And I'm sure these are Dream Pets, some of the other ones. Again, I've got less than $200 in everything I bought. Oh, Treasure Pets. This is Circle Importers. There's 5 or 6 companies that did this, and I don't really care which one. Dankin is the one that the Dream Pets. Here it is, Dankin. This is a Dream Pet. This is the other line, pretty much a copy of the Dream Pets. And again, another line just like it, same basic principle. In fact, do I have more of these? Yeah, here's another brand as well here. So they come in all different types. Now I get like 12 to 20 bucks on these, depending on them. Some of the green ones like these, I'll probably get a few bucks more for. This one here should go very, very well. I wish they all had their tags. Oh, this one does have a tag on it. Made in Japan. So this is just a generic version of it, I would gather. Some Japanese company. I got like almost 20 of these, I think. As you can see, there's quite a few of them. There goes the Santa Claus over there. They're really nice. As I said, I got like 20 of these. Here's one with the tags on it. Dream Pets. Reenie Reindeer is the name on this one. This one's a very nice one. This one would be like on the top of the range there. Here's another brand even as well. Now, I don't worry about who made these usually. They always sell these 50s, 60s velvet reindeer. Herman Pecker, again, another one there. Not the best name, but... And this one's probably by even another company as well. This one's got another type of label right there from Japan. Interesting. I always make good money on these, always. I may sell these in lots, like a pair of them at a time. Again, I got a whole mess of these here, as you can see. There's quite a few. And as I was saying, there was some Nintendo items there. Now I got a whole bunch of vintage. Now this is Sonic. These are all 90s. I think some of these are from the 80s even too. These are all official licensed Nintendo, all from the 90s. This is another 90s one. Now these aren't worth a fortune, but I've got a couple in here that are worth hundreds of dollars. There's a Tails and Knuckles, a bunch. I got like 15 or 20 different Nintendo plushes. I'm just going to show you a few of them here. Again, this is what I look for. I talk about these all the time. This is Tails. Probably have to clean them up. A good condition one of these is worth some good money. So, a nice example. I believe this is Knuckles here. And this is a larger one. They're all officially licensed products. Better names. Let's see, what's this one here? This one's 89. Nintendo. From Applause. I wished he had his hat, but either way, all of these do very well. 15, 20 bucks minimum for just one of these, any one of these. The Sonic's probably more than that. Maybe even a little more than that on average on most of these, but I always sell these, so I picked up every one they had. They had a whole bunch of them. Now, I bought a couple hundred children's books. So I just grabbed a stack of them to show you here. Again, I got less than 200 in everything, and I'm only showing you a small part. I'll probably do a second, maybe even a third haul on this one, because there's just so much stuff that I got. Now, these are all like 1930s editions of these books. I think there's a date on this one, too. I don't mess with a lot of these unless they're early. 1931... Here's like a primo promotional item. Jackie's Airplane Ride, Tiny Tales, Railroad Beneficiary booklet here, as you can see, rather interesting. Now these I always sell. I've had this same one 2 or 3 times, I want to say. For whatever reason, I think I even had this one when I was a kid, maybe. I don't remember the age on this one here. This is from 81 on this one here. Now it's a digest. Most of these 15 bucks or so, maybe. These are pretty good too. Which way? I think you can choose your own way at the end of these. I always check out stuff like this. 10 bucks maybe, maybe more. I haven't checked out or found one of these in a while, so we'll have to look that up. Book of Trees. This is another 30s edition. Another 30s, book 1 of Birds. Now, what's the date? Let's give you an idea. 34, Harder Publishing. Bird paintings by Alan Brooks. So the artist on some of these will sell them. Here's a Whitman Telltale. Nice little Red Riding Hood. This one's presidential. What's the date on this one? Roman numerals, 1936. I'm sorry, there's a second one, 1937. So it's a pretty interesting one here. It's got what you would expect, real photos. Now, this isn't very pricey, but I've got 25 bucks into a huge lot of books. So, and I grabbed anything that looked decent. I'm just showing you a random assortment of what was in there. Just threw in a box and got a lump sum price at the end of the day. What's the year on this one here? Let's see here. Archie Digest, 1973. So it's an earlier one. There's Archie Dolls on the back. Casper. That's a decent one there. Hoopity Hooper, Skippity Snooper. Looks like a Hanna-Barbera character of some sort. There's Disneyland. Donald Duck Goes to Disneyland. Now, this is an earlier one. This is comparable to some of the Golden Digest. 1955, so it is an original one. Lots of great artwork in these, as you can see. Here is a little golden book. Now, I got like 10 or 15 little golden books, and I don't remember if this one is a first edition. No, it's a C, so it's a third edition. When I'm out sourcing like these, and I know they're going to bundle it together, I grab everything that I think could be of value and just get a lump sum price for it. I don't research all the stuff when I'm buying like 100 books or 200 books like that at a time, and I know there's value in them. I could see from literally the first couple I bought that if the price was right, I was going to do incredibly well. So there was a lot of Casper and things. Dom, Primetime Treasure Hunter, knows all the cartoon characters and comic book characters just like I do. So if you haven't checked out Dom, check out Dom's channel, Primetime Treasure Hunter. But I love these things. I know he does too. The comic-related ones like these, I always grab first. Comic book anything are right on that list too. So that's a pretty good assortment there. Now these here, let me pull some of these out just to give you an idea. I'm not trying to show any names on here, but there's a bunch of letters in here. I paid $5 for this whole stack of them, and it goes back all the way to World War I era, like 1910-ish, and all the way up, and they're love letters from like 3 generations of people. So these could be separated into groupings by age. So World War I, World War II, and then there's also some in here from the Korean War. These are love letters. I can sell them in bunches by the war that they're from. So there's a bunch from the 50s, there's a bunch from the 40s, and there's a bunch from the teen era, all addressed to and from military personnel, husband and wife. Some are actually pretty moving letters. Just a real nice example of what to look for in these. Usually you can tell the military names and such forth on the back here. USS Melville is the ship that this person was on. And then there's some other ones, USS Baltimore, USS Hancock, and they're cancellations done from the ship itself, which are always good. So with this stack here for $5, there's probably $120 maybe even a little more if the cancellations on here are scarce ones. Again, $5 into this. So this is the sort of thing that most people don't mess with. Yeah, I should take care of these a little better, but $5 for something like this. Not a bad price at all. Super price. Now let me pull out some other stuff here. Now I look through when I go out to sales every little aspect of it. The garage, the cabinets, the kitchen, the whole works. Here's a Marine Band harmonica, and it's got a picture of a Marine Band on the top of it. Hohner, well-known, very well-known brand. Let's see if I can get it out of there. Looks like NOS stock. It's got some discoloration because this thing's probably close to 100 years old. Maybe it is 100 years old. Made in Germany. It's the real deal. I mean, it's a nice quality piece. The wood looks like it's never been touched. No moisture or anything like that on it. So something like this, maybe I paid 50 cents or $1 for it. I bundled everything, so I can't give you an exact price, but something on this, maybe $20, $30. Again, nothing super pricey, but still very nice. Now, I snag up silverware when I see it, like flatware. Now, hopefully you can see that. There's crowns on the silverware. Hopefully you can see that. So either they're royalty from maybe a royal family or something, or they're from some sort of HMS steamship of some sorts. It could be military. Now there's some maker's marks on the back too here. Haven't had a chance to look them up. So these are iffy. But in most part, any of these ones with the crowns on them almost always turn out to be something decent. I don't think I've ever held on to something with a crown like this for very long at all. Now there's also some from, let's see here, what's it, Courtesy Inn. Here's some silverware too, somebody hijacked from the, I guess it would be the restaurant in the Courtesy Inn. And these I usually get 10 or 15 bucks minimum on these. Like these iced teaspoons are from like a soda shop. So if I put soda shop in the title, I might be able to get 15 or 20 bucks a piece for these. These are circa 1910, 1920s. You can tell by the design. They're early, good pieces again. These are just like pennies. I got into stuff like this. But I always buy it because I always can turn them around pretty easily and fairly quickly. Just like kitchenware, I always go through the kitchen. Now, I picked up a bunch of this. This is called granite ware. It's speckled. This one is a weird greenish, bluish color to it. I've never seen this quite color, and I originally thought it was a faded blue, but that does not seem to be the case, because I've got one that was sitting outside that I got, and it doesn't look a thing like this. It still has that blue to the enamel. Now, this granite ware is like a enamel on steel of some sort, and this has been used. Somebody's been clanking it to shake it off on the end here, so they've chipped it a little bit, but most of the time 8 or 10 bucks minimum on these, but with this odd color, maybe 15. I've got more of these, so I'll probably put them together in a lot. Just something else to look out for. Granite ware, speckled granite ware specifically. Odd colors. If this was in pink or turquoise, you'd have some major bucks there. So anyway, very good one there. Now, I picked up these, there was $1 bags for a bunch of these trade cards. Now, most of them were junk sports cards or things that I wouldn't mess with at all. Let me see here. I tried to sort through these so I could show you some of what was in here, because most people probably wouldn't mess with these sorts of things. Most of these sorts of things you got to know something about to know which ones are junk, and 90% of these cards I run into are junk, but not this batch. This batch had some very interesting. Here's some lenticulars from the 90s from The Day After, which was a TV movie, very popular, of a nuclear war. They go extremely well. Here's promo cards from the original Pet Sematary trading cards, still sealed in the promo pack from the movie theater. Child's Play 3 promo cards that were given out when the movie was coming out or before to advertise for it. There's Punisher promotional cards. Everything in here was like a Punisher or promotional, or everything in here was like promotional. There's Universal Monsters promotional for the Wolverine movie. Kevin Sorbo, I guess his name is. Disney promos. Star Wars promos. Now, I thought these were the original ones at first, but it's promo for the Heritage series. Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, Family Guy. They're all promos. They're not official cards. They're advertising the lines. Lots of Star Wars. Robots, decent one. Robin Williams did the voice, if I'm not mistaken. Harry Potter promos. Again, these are all promos. Enterprise. Here's some good ones from Skybox. Masters of the Universe set. Marvel. Thunderbirds. Star Wars. Crocodile Hunter. He was always one of my favorite guys on TV for wildlife. Loved the guy. Awesome. Sad when he died. Farscape. Charmed. Again, promos. Now, if these were just normal cards, I wouldn't even have spent $1 on them. But there's some good promos in here that some of the cards can go for $15-20 a piece. Now, here's a Dragon Ball Z cell card of some sort. Again, I'm going to have to look these up. They go way back to... There's some earlier stuff in here. There's some earlier stuff in here, too. Let's see here. Oz. Now, the Oz set I was really interested in. Lord of the Rings. Let's see here. What else is in here? Oh, here's one for Dom, Primetime Treasure again. Here's a Doctor Who promo. I don't know the new Doctor Who. My Doctor Who was the old ones. This is for the very first series in 2001, it looks like, of the new release on these. Excellent. Battle of the Planets. Here's one that I used to watch, G-Force and the whole works back in the day. I remember when that first came on here in America. So for my $1 in here, there's probably $150 worth of trade cards in here. They're all not worth it. Most of them are going to go in junk lots together, and I'll get $10, $15, $20. But there's a bunch that we'll be able to sell separately for $10, $15. The Star Wars ones I can sell in a lot together, $15, $20. So all told, there's some good money in this $1 bag. Now, I didn't just buy $1 bag. I went and bought $2 bags. Now, I just talked about Pokemon cards just the other day in a video. Now, these are all, every one in this bag is from the very first edition. And this was in there too. I paid $1, mind you, for this. This is the very first, I don't know if I can read it without my Loope, and my Loope isn't sitting here, but this is the 001, I think it's maybe SDK. This is the very first Blue Eyes White Dragon. Now, I know these cases, people complain and say they hurt the cards, but the card's loose in there. I can hear it sliding, so it's not smashed or anything. It looks like it's in mint condition. This is like a $50 to $100 card if I want to have it graded. So this one I may grade. I've got like 20 of these now. Picked up some from another lot. First edition ones. The first editions are what you want from 96. Those are the ones that almost always hold value compared to any of the other ones. I just pulled out some random ones out of here. So if any of you know your Pokemon cards, you're going to know that these are at least worth, say, $5 to, say, $10 a piece. Just these. So there's like $50 close to it here, plus this one. So right off the bat with my $1 investment, again, this was a sale. Somebody called me and wanted me to take a look at some stuff. They were going to have a sale. It was all marked out, and they usually let me look at stuff ahead of time. They do bulk purchases, and they do buyouts from storage lockers and storage units and things like that. So I usually get first dibs on some items. I'll just snag them up very readily on stuff like this. Again, I filled the van. I'm just showing you sparse amount of what I got. Now here's some poker chips. Now I've talked about poker chips in a video just the other day. I paid $5 for this whole lot here. Now, most poker chips I don't mess with unless they're from a casino. These are from a casino, and there's a whole bunch of them. These are $25 chips. Now, these are from a casino. Most people would look at them. You can't read any names. These have been canceled. When they pull them out of use at a casino, they cancel them on this here. Now, for those in Patreon, you're going to see a secret on how to make some value out of these, even canceled like this. So that'll be a Patreon video. Not the next one, but the one right after. It's still this week. So these can sell across the board. People buy these off of Amazon, if you didn't know that, individually in the collector's section as well. So I would average probably about $7 to say $10 a chip out of this lot here. I would have to guess there's at least 100 here, so this is $500 or better in poker chips. No exaggeration. Probably more closer to 700. Now, if I add up everything I got at this pick here, you're talking $6,000-$7,000 return on my investment. Easy. This is 500, probably close to it, right here in poker chips. These weigh a lot. These are professional quality poker chips from a defunct, obsolete casino that closed down in New Orleans. So, excellent example here. I know I will sell these. I have had similar items to this before, so very interesting item. And let me just show you one more of these items that I purchased in this haul. Now, stuff like this is bulk purchase. I got a whole bunch of the same thing. I can take a picture of one of these and sell it on multiple platforms and not have to do a single thing, even with quantity. Now, people know there's hundreds of these, or tens of thousands of these, I should say, made. So for me to put up a list of, say, 50 to 100, no big deal. People are going to buy them for a decent price. I put them up for $7.99. I'll probably sell a bunch of them right off the bat. So they're heavy, they're decent, they're all the same denomination. They'll all be identical when finished. So this is an easy list. Now, if I go to other places and I can't buy bulk or multiples of the same item, then I'm spending more, and I'm going to spend a lot more time listing it. I always try to buy NOS, new stock, or if I'm buying vintage stuff that carries a better value. Like even with the books that I showed you, I can bulk lump them, all the bird books, all the wildlife and nature books together in a lot. I can do all the Caspers. I can do, you know, stuff like that in a lot. And I always do so much better doing that with those. I don't usually sell $5 books on their own. It's just not worth my time. But when I pick up a couple hundred of them, I've got a lot of lot material. Lots are an incredible good way to sell this sort of merchandise. So it's just a great way to get rid of stuff, lots. I would lot everything up as opposed to spending the time these days. Now, when I first started, I would probably have listed those one or two at a time together. These days, I just lump them up and just blow them out because we get so much material in here. Now, I bought some stamps, and I've had stuff like this before. Now, inside here is a filometer, which is a way to check rotary stamps, and I've got like 30 of these. These are something I've sold on Amazon before. I've sold them on eBay before, and a couple other sites also. Now, these are a good $8 or $10 easy each, just the way you see them. And as I said, I love multiples of anything. One listing, one picture, quantity 30. Do the same thing on Amazon. Do the same thing wherever else I'm going to list these as. I could probably get away with listing these on Etsy as well because it ties into a collectible, postage stamps. There's the HIP platform as well for stamps, so there's a real good source to sell these on across the board. So bulk of the same item is always great. That is something that I always look for. This is just a touch on a few of the items that I purchased from the same pickup. I'll probably do another haul on this just to show you some of the more interesting items. I haven't even gotten to the comic books I purchased. There was a bunch of comic books in there, bunch more action figures. I got some postage stamps, some early covers, some letters, lots of paper items, some more toys. Geez, I got a whole bunch of stuff. I even got a couple good stacks of records in that lot. So hopefully, again, that gives you an idea on what I pick up when I'm outsourcing. But that's what I have for you. Hopefully that gave you some ideas and some thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below. You can also hit the bell icon to be notified if I post new content or go live. Subscribe and tell a friend.